ready?
Bentley.
Ready.
All right. This is SANDCAST, beach volleyball with Bourne, Travis Mewhirter, and Bentley Bourne here, presented by a host of sponsors. We got volleyballmag.com, P1440. With the video, we got Wilson. Unofficially, we are sponsored by Nicolette Martin, who drew up this awesome SANDCAST ball for us. And then we have Miss Emily Day in the house.
Yes.
How we doing?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Finally got you in studio.
I know. The first one was San Fran.
Yeah, it wasn't proper.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't. We didn't have the full studio. We did have an outdoor studio. You're one of the...
Yeah.
Are they the only outdoor guests that we've had?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know, but we won that tournament, so we should do that more often.
We tend to have that effect on
Okay,
teams.
all right.
Yeah.
Take it.
Yeah, we were known as the Good Luck Podcast for a while because we interviewed Brower and Mewson before Huntington, and then they dominated.
Yeah.
And then we had a couple winners. We had you guys in San Francisco.
Yeah.
And who else did we?
The bad one was when we had Anders and Christian on, but then I played him in the semifinals and lost him.
You lost.
It doesn't work for the host.
Yeah. Oh,
it's only for the guests.
Yeah, there you go.
That was a bad draw.
Yeah, but so hopefully, when does your season start? See if we can get you some good luck for whenever.
Yeah, so we actually leave March 2nd for Sydney.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's going to be our first one. It's a 3-star. And, we're getting ready for that.
Nice. That's coming up.
Yeah.
You guys ready? How's everything feeling?
Feeling good. You know, we've actually had a proper off-season, which has been nice. We played in The Hague, and then because Fort Lauderdale got canceled and the other Florida tournament, we had some weeks to really, work on things and slow things down and run different plays and different sets and working on a lot of technique stuff. So we're ready to compete, though.
Yeah. I feel like that's always a sort of an unintended good effect of when you have a tournament off that you didn't expect to, is that you're rested and ready to go, and then you really want to compete really bad.
Yeah, that fire's there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with Sydney coming up, you mentioned that you and Betsi were working on a couple different things.
Right.
I don't know if you want to name any of those in specific, just things that you guys are trying to shore up before the Olympic push begins.
Yeah. So I've been hand setting a lot more in practice, so everyone can hold it to me when I compete.
Nice.
Because for some reason I practice it all off season, and then you get in the game, and I get freaked out because you never want to lose a point.
Yeah.
But anyways, so I've been working on hand setting, some different sets, just getting up a variety of sets so we don't run the same thing. And I think it was actually good that came from The Hague, because playing in The Hague was indoor, and so you had the control to run these different sets. So then bringing that back out with the wind has been a challenge, but fun.
Yeah.
And then I've worked a lot on my passing this offseason.
Okay.
Yeah.
What made hand setting the focus this offseason? Because, I mean, your first professional event, you qualified in 2007. Now we're 12 years later. What made you want to go for hand setting this time?
So I didn't even start learning how to hand set for a while. And then Betsi and I teamed up in April of last year and was pretty much, let's just go. And I was much more consistent with bump setting, and so there wasn't really any time to explore the hands.
Right.
So, yeah. Better late than never, right? I guess.
Do you think your last partners liked hitting off the bump sets, or just didn't care as much? Whereas, you're seeing with Betsi that there's more opportunity to give her certain sets with hands. Yeah,
and she encourages it a lot. So at the beginning, obviously...
Well, she's a coach, right?
Right, so. Yeah. So they weren't exactly consistent, and that's when you just want to go back to bump setting because you know that's your bread and butter.
Right.
And no, she's like, nope, keep pushing it. I love it.
That's awesome.
Like, okay.
That's been my kind of technique from the beginning, or strategy was just I'm just going to hand set everything no matter what. And if I get called, I don't care. But you just have to
how do you not care though?
Well, eventually I just wasn't getting called.
Right. Yeah. You have to push through that.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, plus World Tour now is I'm watching matches oh wow, that's legal.
Right.
Wow, that's legal.
They're almost encouraging it more.
So now I'm not calling anything. I mean, I don't call much at practice anyway.
Right.
But now I'm there's no point in calling anything.
Right.
Because the refs might not call it.
Right.
So if you have more indoor style hands, quicker hands, and you're gonna put more spin on it, then go for it. They're not calling it.
Right.
Yeah, with me, even if I double, my bump set was going to be so bad anyway. We were getting the point.
Yeah.
Put their hands on it.
Yeah. And Betsi, like, puts it into numbers. She's like, over the long period of time, you have a higher side out percentage off of hands than you do a bump set.
Yeah.
So
I feel like her and John Mayer are such a good team together.
Yeah.
Like, when you are referencing Betsi, it sounds something exactly like John would say.
Totally.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, obviously, because he's the head coach at LMU and Betsi's the assistant, and they're both doing that gold medal squared, so they learn a lot from one another.
Yeah.
So.
And have you guys thought about bringing John on? I know your current coach is Jackson, correct?
And he's like in that mix too, because Jackson was an indoor coach for LMU. And so when he first started coaching, he was working with Tom Black with John Mayer.
Okay.
So like Tom Black was coaching John Mayer, and so Jackson was in that mix.
Okay.
And so now sometimes we go and Jackson will be at that same practice where John is, and he'll learn from him. So, yeah.
Okay.
You guys got
all
that
that
little...
yeah, go Lions.
the Lion family,
Yeah.
That's got to be fun, though, to have that close little group.
Yeah.
Everyone's kind of pulling for you guys now. I mean, John's not even playing, so I'm sure he's willing to help out here and there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he's going to be on the road with you guys as well, a decent amount.
Jackson
John,
or John?
right? Because he's going to travel with Stafford and Billy?
Stafford, maybe.
Yeah.
As
well,
much
depends
as he can.
because he's, with LMU.
Right.
But yeah, when Jackson was out of town, John stepped in and ran practices for us. So
I think Mayer said he was going to travel when he can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so he might be on the road.
And the college season's so short anyway that it's not even going to be that much of a hindrance. The college season's like 2 months. It's crazy how short it is.
Oh, that is crazy.
It starts this Thursday, actually, UCLA and Cal Poly, and then it's just like a sprint through May, and then it's over. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like our season's too short. Like, if this is my full-time job, then why do I only work like 4 or 5 months of the year?
Yeah, well, because you're training and practicing.
Yeah, I know, but it'd be nice if we had, a little bit more.
Yeah, an income outside of
income,
5 months.
The income part of it. That would definitely be nice.
Yeah.
But with all this talk about LMU, we'd be remiss if we didn't give you a huge congratulations
for
making the Hall of Fame. That's awesome.
Thank you.
How cool is that
That's
to be in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah,
wow.
Very honored. Was absolutely shocked. It was such a cool weekend too. Just felt really a part of LMU athletics, and I had past teammates reaching out, and my coach that was at LMU, and then Betsi and Jackson came, so it was really cool.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was really special.
How did you find out? Like, how do they let someone know that they're in the Hall of Fame? Like, were you waiting on a call?
No, I had no idea. I didn't know like when you're nominated or picked. But a friend of mine who is also on that board, which might have helped me get picked, but he called me, and it's funny because he's also my financial advisor, and so he had called. And I was like, I can't talk right now. And he's like, okay, well, let's set up a call. And so when we got on the phone, I had like all my numbers ready to go, what money needed to go where. And he's like, I'm just calling to let you know that you're going to be inducted into the LMU Hall of Fame. I was like, wait, what?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Not the phone call you were expecting.
No. I was like avoiding that phone call. But I should have just taken it the first time.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
But that's so cool to happen, especially like right before the season too. A big morale booster right there.
Yeah. I was glad I was in town for it. Because they're, a lot of the summer were gone.
And obviously beach didn't exist right? When you were there.
Right.
So that's kind of crazy that you've made most of your career. I mean, you did play overseas as well, indoor.
Right.
But most of your career has been a beach volleyball player, but at LMU you were indoor.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's all of it's been taken into consideration.
Yeah,
right?
I think it helped that I've had a good beach career.
Right, yeah.
Like, I was good at LMU and I have some records, but I didn't play on the indoor national team or anything. Mm-hmm. But I think because I've had such a successful career after and have stayed connected, so it was nice.
And I'm sure, they're trying to grow that beach program, so they want to really, show and I guess congratulate you for success on the beach and give the next up and coming girls someone to look up to and whatnot. Right,
and show that those indoor girls you can play both.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
exactly.
So.
And when you were at LMU, did you envision a career in volleyball?
No, so it was funny. We were actually talking about the story of when I went in to get recruited by LMU, and I was sitting in the office with my coach at the time, Strat, and he asked, "Oh, so what would you like to do with volleyball after college?" And I was like, Can you do something?
That's a thing?
That's a thing? So, and I have to credit a lot of my beach career to my indoor coach because he's the one that made us play beach in the summers. He said, you need to go play in at least 4 beach tournaments every summer.
Wow.
And I don't know if I would have been involved with beach volleyball. I might have played in some, but I was like, okay, well, I'm going to go to this tournament, and I got my ass kicked. And then after that, I was like, okay, and started training and practicing and fell in love with the sport.
Yeah.
And you didn't play it at all growing up?
No, even though I grew up in Torrance, no.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to the beach every once in a while, but no.
Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. When did you begin to develop a talent for it or recognize that you could be pretty good at beach?
I mean, I relied on my indoor skills a lot and just hitting the ball as hard as I could. So that helped. But I would say it was, I had to get one of those beach tournaments in over the summer. Mm-hmm. My dad was like, hey, there's the AVP Long Beach. You guys could play in the qualifier. And it was Heather Hughes and I. And
oh, I remember that team, yeah.
We were like, Dad, it's like $60 each to enter. You only get one match if you lose. But we're like, whatever, we need another tournament before we get back to school.
Right.
And so we signed up. We had no points, so we were the last qualifier team. We were team 54. And
good memory. I just looked that up.
Yeah, am I right?
Yeah.
And we won all of our matches to qualify. And I was like, maybe I can do this.
Yeah.
And then we got our butts kicked by Carrie and Misty.
I'm sure it was quite
That's a tough draw.
An introduction. The first main draw when you didn't even expect to play in the qualifier was Carrie and Misty.
Yep, on their, I think that was during
their
their 101 match win streak. And played them Friday morning, 8 a.m. on Stadium. Geeta announced us. Still remember that?
Dang, your first match you got against, that was your first
because
AVP
we were
main draw
one.
match.
They were one and we were 32.
I know, but to have them as your first AVP main draw match on the Stadium with Geeta announcing is like,
you wanted something else?
Straight into it, just thrown into the fire.
Yeah. So Carrie's sister, Casey, was playing with me at LMU at the time. Mm-hmm. And Casey used to come back with old suits from Carrie. And so Heather and I were wearing one of her old suit tops.
That's so
because
funny.
it's the only one that we had that matched. And Casey had 2 of them. And we had to borrow them to.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, to play in. I don't know if Carrie
that makes me feel better about wearing. I wear tri-shorts during the Hermosa qualifier.
Yeah.
That was great.
Did he give you some
I
good
went down
mojo?
and watched.
Yeah.
He was just wearing Bourne, full on. But it had my name on it.
Oh, jeez. Hopefully he repped you well.
Yeah.
He did. I think he won.
We made it in.
There you go.
It was funny though. So it made me feel better that someone else has done it.
Yep. Hey,
I was
whatever.
flattered.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you did 2 years in Switzerland.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And how was that experience too? Because you mentioned that. Well, I didn't know that there was a career in volleyball out of college, and then Switzerland, probably a pretty neat experience.
Yeah. So I always wanted to study abroad when I was in college, but couldn't because of training and whatnot. And so when I learned that you could play overseas, I was like, I have to do that. And went to Switzerland, and I was lucky enough. There was a lot of other Americans on our team, and just had a great time.
Yeah.
Not necessarily making a ton of money, but enough to live out there and travel every weekend.
Have some chocolate.
That we had, off. And it was awesome. And so played for the same team for 2 years.
That's really cool.
And it's funny that Stockman has played there also. And I think Heather Lowe played there and Angie Akers. So this club has had a lot of beach players.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, out of all the places you can go play in the world, Switzerland's certainly not.
Yeah, it's not a bad choice.
It's not a bad choice.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, really.
Sometimes you're out there slumming it.
Yeah, no, not here. We got a car.
Switzerland's nice.
Yeah, we got paid on time.
Yeah.
We got.
I feel like if anywhere in the world you're going to get paid on time, it's Switzerland.
Yep, you didn't have to worry about that at all.
90% of the time you don't get paid on time or paid at all.
Right. No, we got paid in full on time.
I love
Way to go,
listening
Switzerland.
to players' indoor stories because they can be so different. You had such a pleasant experience, and then Emily Hartong was I was literally the only foreign player allowed on the team.
Yeah,
and
she went to
crazy.
Korea,
Listen to all these rules, and people don't get paid.
Yeah, I got paid So I played my season. I got fired over social media. Like, I didn't know.
When were we?
They dropped me because
where?
they didn't want to pay me for... Oh, no. Riley Salmon was coming off the Olympics.
Okay.
And he became available. So they dropped me and hired him before the playoffs.
Was this in Puerto Rico?
Yeah, in Puerto Rico. When I was playing with Casey Patterson.
Yeah.
And then...
Over social media.
Yeah, it's over social media, exactly. And then I didn't get paid like the rest of what I was supposed to get paid. But then next year they were trying to sign another indoor national team player. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. Federation said, well, we're not going to pay you until you pay our last U.S. player that you had.
Yeah.
So the next season I got my check. I was like, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. And that's great that USA Volleyball did that.
Yeah, they had my guy. That was nice. They wanted a good player, so I was like, yes.
Yeah.
They wanted Evan Paddock.
Okay.
It's like they're going to pay me to get him.
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Evan.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's beach or indoors, it's always such an interesting story of how volleyball players get paid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really is. You never know how you're going to. Sometimes it's cash in an envelope, and sometimes it's direct deposit. Yeah.
Norseca's.
You don't know if you're going to get paid.
If you leave, you had that experience.
Yeah.
I had to, me and Haiyang had to get back to the venue, really fast to make sure our money didn't disappear. And they're like, you're lucky. It was, a few more minutes. If you didn't come back for your money, it would have been gone.
Yeah. When me and Ben Vaught, we got a silver medal in Martinique in October.
Oh, awesome.
And so at the players' party, it's 11 o'clock, and the guy, the tournament director comes up, he's like, we have a bit of a cash problem. He's like, do you accept checks? I was like, yeah. He goes, all right, we'll send one to USAV. And Carissa Cook overheard the conversation.
She's like,
she was
no.
No.
Yeah.
She's like, you're just going to make it out to us.
Yeah.
And then ended up writing the checks at midnight at the players' party.
Yeah.
And then our flight was leaving. We had to get up at 4:30.
Yeah.
And I lost my check.
No, you didn't.
I did. I was checking my bag the next day. I was like, what did I do with that thing? No idea where it ended up.
Did your partner, was he able to cash it?
Yeah, Ben was good.
Okay.
Everyone else got there, so I just made a donation to Norseca.
How much?
Apparently.
$500.
Oof.
Yeah.
So flight out there.
Whoops.
You could try to ask him. Be like, hey,
I emailed them. They responded right away, and I was shocked.
Yeah.
I was like, no way you guys got back. And then the more I emailed them, the less they responded. But at least we had a sponsor pay for our flights out there, though.
Okay.
So I was like, well, I just got a free trip to the Caribbean.
Right.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So
it's a good trip.
It's always an interesting
Good story. Yeah.
Volleyball world is a little crazy.
What was it like coming back from Switzerland? And then, so did you know, when you came back after year 2 that you weren't going to go back? Or did you have plans of what you were looking forward to doing once you got back to the U.S.?
Yeah, so after my first year, I was coming back to play beach. And when I went to leave for my second year, I remember Holly McPeak talking to me. And she's like, hey, you're good at beach volleyball. And if you really want to make it, you're going to have to stay here in off season. And I had felt that because you'd come back in April or May and just jump into, AVPs. And I felt, out of it and not caught up with everybody. Yeah. So I knew after my second year that I wasn't going to go back, which was hard because I still loved playing indoor and my situation was great.
Yeah.
But I knew that I wanted to pursue beach full.
That's awesome. And such a good vote of confidence from a person like Holly McPeak, too. That's great.
Yeah. She really took me under her wing at the beginning, and like she does so often with college students.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any intimidation factor trying to learn from Holly at that?
I mean, yeah. Her practices are still one of the hardest ones I've ever been to.
Yeah.
But, I mean, she's a great player, and she's a great coach, so it was awesome to be around her. Yeah.
Did you imagine that you would have the success you've had so far today, when you first began?
No.
Has this been just beyond?
It's been, I mean, of course you have goals and aspirations, but, I mean, if you would have told me this 10 years ago, there's no shot. I mean, I just liked going and watching the finals of the AVP. I never really imagined myself being there, but as I started to play, it became more and more of a realistic goal.
Yeah.
And after, I had won my first tournament, I was like, all right, I want to keep doing this.
Yeah. And, I mean, whatever you guys were doing with Holly, it must have worked. So you came back from Switzerland in 2011?
Yeah, sounds right. I graduated in 09.
2013, your beach career, took off.
Yeah.
Like, so, I mean, because you won Cincinnati with Summer.
With
Out of
Summer.
the qualifier.
Yes.
That's crazy.
And beat Carey.
Was that, yeah.
Right?
Oh.
Wasn't that the one? Twice. I remember that.
Went from
that was
wearing
my
her
first.
suit.
Don't forget that.
That was my first year on tour as well, so I remember that one.
Yeah, that was gnarly. Yeah, so Summer was super young, obviously. She had just quit school to play beach volleyball full time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, we teamed up and it worked for a while.
Yeah.
So it was fun.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
What was the dynamic of that team? Did you split?
We split blocked.
Okay.
Yep.
We're now going to take a quick second for a word from our sponsors. And before we do, we just wanted to thank you guys, as always, for listening. You are what keeps the show going on. Now, if you want to do us a huge favor and drop us a review on iTunes or Podbean, we would greatly appreciate it. If not, support our sponsors. They're the ones who also keep the show going, so any support in any way we appreciate. So here's a word from our sponsors on SANDCAST. This show has been brought to you by Firefly Recovery. Now, I know that I have done a terrible job with my recovery all season long, which is why I'm a huge fan of Firefly. I always thought recovery, you had to go get a massage, it had to be an hour-long thing, but it doesn't. With Firefly, all you have to do is just strap this thing on to your knee, which is what's been bugging me, and you can strap it on at work, so you can do your recovery while you're getting paid and doing your work. You can strap it on during an airplane, which is exactly what I did on my way to Maryland for New Year's and Christmas. You can bring it on the way back from the plane. You can do it in the car ride. You can recover on the go, doing whatever you want, which is exactly why I love Firefly. It does everything that you would need it to do. It moves the blood flow down there, and you're naturally recovering. You don't need these enormous Normatec boots and be grounded. You can do it on the move, on the go. It's a huge help for me with how much you have to lift and play beach volleyball. I highly recommend Firefly Recovery, so check them out. If you are an athlete, if you are just a weekend warrior looking to get that soreness out of your muscles, Firefly is the way to go. So hit them up at fireflyrecovery.com. Give them a try. I highly recommend it. This podcast is also brought to you by Wilson Volleyball. I know if you've been following beach volleyball players on Instagram lately, there's a lot of complaints about how difficult it is to play with the dreaded Mikasa, which is used on the international tours. But if you're not playing internationally, and if you're not playing P1440, whose season won't be rolling around till late fall anyway, we are back to using the Wilson people, so hallelujah and celebrating that. So if you need a refill on Wilson balls, they are the best balls in the market, and best thing yet, we give you a 20% discount here at SANDCAST if you use the discount code WilsonSAN. By far the best ball. The college players use it. The AVP uses it. Almost every grassroots tour uses it. The CBVA rocks it. There's a reason that everyone uses Wilson. It's the best ball in the market. Highly recommend you pick up a bag of Wilsons today, especially if you want to use our Wilson code, WilsonSAN. So go ahead and get yourself a bag of volleyballs today or any other equipment you might need. This next segment is brought to you by Pacific Coast Wealth Management. We are all excited for the race to Tokyo, the 2020 Olympic Games, and therefore I wanted to give you guys an update brought to you by our friends at Pacific Coast Wealth Management over who the leaders are both in the world and in the country. Number one in the race to Tokyo is Vyacheslav Krasilnikov and Oleg Stoyanovsky of Russia, followed by two more Russian teams, Ilya Lishukov and Konstantin Semenov, and Taras Miskiv and Valery Samode. I butchered those names for sure, but those are your top three international teams in the race for Tokyo. Number one from the U.S. is the split blocking extraordinaires Bourne and Trevor Crabb with 1,160 points. They are currently ranked number 9 in the 2019 standings. The second team from the U.S. currently is Miles Evans and Billy Kolinsky with 1,040 points. And ranked number 3 in the U.S. in the 2019 season is Casey Patterson and Stafford Slick, who are no longer playing together. So expect some changes as the season is coming up. And for now, just enjoy our Pacific Coast Wealth Management update of the race to Tokyo. And now, back to the show.
I don't know how it worked, but it worked.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
We don't see that.
I know.
Really
Not anymore. And I used to split block with like Heather Hughes and even Jen Kessie and I would split block. So, but not so much. I think the Czech team does, but in the U.S.
I mean, there's not many. I mean, there's no men's that do it either in the U.S., right?
I mean,
You do?
Trevor.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Now me and Trevor.
Yeah, I mean, you occasionally get teams at like the qualifier level that'll do it, but
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Is that still recording, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're good.
It said something to me. Sorry, people.
Oh, it's just like the audio.
All right. It was blinking.
We're good. But yeah, I mean, you and Trevor pretty much the only split blocking. At the qualifier level, and the college girls, they'll come out and split block a lot because a lot of them do in college. But I don't think at the top, I don't really think anyone does anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to specialize. Like, it seems logical to have two people that just work on specific things. But at the same time, there's advantages to having two completely different looking defenses
Yep.
constantly switching throughout a match.
Yep.
And being able to, like, this look is working a lot, like
Let's
this
keep it.
blocker on this certain hitter. Yeah, and you just keep it. And then if they start to get in rhythm, just switch it. And they're like, damn it, now I have to figure out a whole new defense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has its advantages.
Because like, you were a good defensive player at LMU too. I mean, you had finished with more than 1,000 digs, right? And 1,500 kills.
Yeah.
So pretty good all around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have to remember that when I'm playing defense. I've been here before and I've done it.
Yeah. I know. That's something that I will always thought back on because I played a lot of defense indoors.
Right.
And I love defense. I love passing and digging balls. But I hated that I was specialized as a blocker. And I didn't get to
indoor,
get those reps.
you're saying on the beach?
On the beach. I didn't like... I didn't like it indoors either, like when I played middle blocker.
Right.
But now I'm finally back.
Yeah, now
like, does
you're
it
back.
bother you at all that you don't get to get those reps?
Yeah, because it's not comfortable now I don't really get stuck back there at all. But
Right,
to lay out and transition like that.
But you're
fine.
like, but I know how to do it. I could be good at it.
Right,
I know that
right.
I'm good at this.
Right.
But I don't practice it at all. So when I finally get stuck back there, it feels so foreign.
Yeah,
and
feel
you're like,
silly.
Yeah, you feel silly. Exactly. I hated that. And now I'm like stoked because
You get
it's so fun
equal
to
time
like,
for both.
yeah, get a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Do you ever feel the urge to just get back there sometimes?
Well, what's funny is Lauren and I played in a tournament in Switzerland, and I played full-time D. And so it felt good to be back there. I mean, it was a little rough at first. Didn't exactly finish well. But, no, but I like blocking, and I respect Betsi, and she's very good at defense. So we'll just leave it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have played well together so far.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so is this your first real go at an Olympic push? Or did you and Jen sort of
Jen and
look
I
at
were,
2016?
we were team 3 in 2016.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
we tried real hard.
Yeah, and you were with Jose as well.
Yeah.
Who's now my coach.
Yes.
Going into this
I
one.
love Jose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Jose.
Jose.
It
Yeah, I
depends.
remember that.
Yeah.
You and Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun team you guys had going there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't get all the finishes that you guys wanted in terms
No,
of
it
Olympics.
was tough. Yeah. I mean, we had chances and opportunities, and of course, like, you always look back, and if you would have done better at this one, then your draw would have been good for this one. And it's a grind. It was a grind.
Yeah.
A roller coaster. Because we were going week to week and just, playing in everything. That was also the year where they opened it up, and we didn't get penalized at 3 stars or opens. You remember that?
I forget what it was.
Something
Why
like-
would we get penalized in the first place?
Like, it didn't count as a finish, not penalized.
Oh,
but
unless you
it
wanted to use it?
Or
Or if it worked
if it
to your
helped you.
advantage.
So we had, like, the top teams going to every.
Oh,
You remember that?
Yeah. That's why I
So
played
an
in
open
2
and grands,
AVPs.
yeah, were the same thing. But yeah, no, Jen and I definitely pushed for it and came up short.
And that was Jen's last year
Yep.
playing, period. Yeah, what is, I'm curious, since I'm in the same situation, like, what's your mindset or going into this next quad and, like, having learned a lot from that first quad?
Yeah, I mean, you just can't let the highs get too high and the lows too low. Mm-hmm. And I think something that Betsi and I have done well and we've learned from is, like, you go from winning San Francisco to a 4-star in Poland, and nobody cares that you won San Francisco.
Right,
yeah.
So, like, just, again, like the highs and the lows, you got to stay even keeled, and you're going to get good draws and you're going to get bad draws.
Yeah.
And it's just all about what you do with what you have in front of you.
And the key, I mean, you have to get a lot of finishes, and you want to keep your seating really high. So the key is to be consistent.
Yep.
And I think not celebrating those highs so much. It's just like celebrate it for the night.
Right.
Acknowledge it. It's great. You don't want to not acknowledge it. Ignore it.
Right.
Because that's why you're doing it in the first place. But then, you have to move on. You have a tournament potentially in the next 4 days or something. And, you got to get another good finish. Because if you have a great finish, you win one event, but then you have a 25th the next one.
Right.
You didn't help
and it's
yourself
12,
all that
right?
much.
12 good finishes. So really, it's who's the best over a long period of time.
This time around, we have, 3 5-stars this year?
Yeah.
So we might be able to use 2 more by the time Olympic. There might be 5 5-stars that count.
Right, that's really low.
So all of those, whoever does consistently well in 5-stars is going to qualify most likely.
True. You gotta play well on the big stage.
Yeah.
And what do you think about just like talking Betsi through? Obviously, she's a coach. She's a very cerebral player as well, which you are. But she's never done this before,
Right.
Which I'm doing the same thing. I got Trevor, who's just as good of a player as me, but he hasn't been through this experience. All right, what kind of stuff are you telling Betsi? If you've started, I don't know.
Yeah, we just talk about like the opportunity that's in front of us and worry about just us. Because you can get caught up in what's their draw or how'd they do in this tournament at their points, but mostly like just us. Kind of got to keep that like laser focus and just doing the best with whatever opportunity you have, because you don't want to look back and say, woulda, shoulda, coulda.
Right. Yeah, I feel like it was a pretty big strain on like my ego, just being young and competitive. I mean, I'm competing against like a Casey Patterson, and like guys. I don't know if it's worse, but I highly disliked them at the time, and I liked them as people, but I'm just like, I don't want to see, like when I see them at breakfast, and I know they're thinking, we're all thinking the same thing. Yeah. You're just, these guys are your number one enemies. Yeah. But the problem is you're traveling with them.
Right, so you see them every day at breakfast.
You're half hellos. Yeah. Like, what's up, guys? Morning.
You don't want to sit with
them. I hope you lose today. You don't really want to sit together.
Right.
It's just kind of weird, but you got to check your ego. Yeah. Because if you let that emotion, like, think about every time you see someone that you're traveling the whole world with, that you get worked up a little bit or something, that can take a strain on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if every time that they have a good finish, it like really bothers you, like this is a 1.5 year long process. Like you can't let all those little things build up to something big.
I agree. And it's hard because I felt like I'm not that type of person to shut somebody out or be mean to them, but I found myself hoping everybody would lose.
Of course. Which we are going to do again.
Right.
Like you can't avoid that.
I think I would be less focused on their draws or who they're playing, or if they get this finish and I get this finish, this means that.
Yeah,
I think it's just like...
Stay in your lane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I'm hoping to definitely do that better this time around.
Yeah.
But,
me too.
Young and...
You learn.
Excited.
Trevor never gets excited when someone else does.
It's going to be very difficult. He's going to be like throwing out money on matches, and like, I'm going to try to stay focused, but I got to let him do his thing, I guess.
Right. You can't let that rub off on you too.
Yeah. I'm sure that you probably learned a lot, I would guess, from your 2013 season. I was looking at your schedule, and you played in everything.
I know.
You played in 6 AVPs, like 11 FIVBs, and then found some time to win 2 Norsecas.
Yeah. I don't think I could do that anymore.
It was a crazy season.
Yeah. That was the season. That's when I won with Summer. Mm-hmm. I think was I just playing with Summer? Because there was one season I was bouncing back and forth between Summer and Whitney, and that was insane.
I think that one was just Summer, and then I think the next one was a little bit back and forth. Or it could be 2013. But I was just looking at it, and I was like, you played in like 19 tournaments, like all over the world. Yeah,
I mean, we were just going for it. We were playing in whatever we could.
Like, I would get tired playing in like 19 CBVAs.
Yeah. CBVAs are exhausting though. You're down there all day.
I think that's worse.
Yeah.
The little LA traffic after going home.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think LA traffic is worse than like a 30-hour flight from
No, it's definitely not. But
Vietnam.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
But what were some of the things that you learned kind of early in your career? Because 2013, you were still fairly new to beach as like a career path.
Right.
So what were some of the things that you picked up that you have since been able to apply and are now just kind of a regular part of your life?
Are you talking like in terms of?
It could be either lifestyle or volleyball in terms of like skill set preparation.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Like when I was first starting to play, like you didn't know how much money you were going to make. You didn't know where the money was going to come from or when it was coming. So that's when I really started tutoring a lot.
Yeah.
And then as volleyball was able to I was able to make money off of it, let's say, I still continued to tutor as that outlet away from volleyball. Because for me, if I had volleyball all day, it would drive me insane. So even today, I still tutor, and that's like a great balance for me. And then learning how to take care of my body off the court has also been something that I've learned throughout the years with getting work done, rolling out myself, stretching, proper warm-ups. It helps like prolong your career for sure.
Have you worked with Chad Beauchamp?
I got worked on by him.
Yeah, we all love.
Yeah, he's good stuff.
Yeah, we had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
and I was just asking more for me than any of our listeners' benefits, like what specific things we can do.
Yeah.
And he said that like vibration is like one of the best things. Like the next day I bought Hypervolt.
Yeah,
it's been the best investment.
I know. I have the Hypersphere, and I really want the Hypervolt.
It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah, it helps a lot.
Yeah.
At least we'll have our trainer bringing it on the road, most likely.
Yeah.
The USA trainers.
Yeah, maybe we
bring
could
all
like
the
check him out or
equipment.
something.
Oh yeah. Well, I have one.
Oh.
So you can
I need to get
you can
one.
rent it from me if you want.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. Like a library card.
Try a
me a
little
drink.
side hustle.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, I don't know what kind of finishes I'm gonna get, so I
You never know.
gotta have a side hustle.
Yeah.
But so you had like a really good run with Summer, and then you and Jen picked up for a couple of years.
Yep.
How was it different going from Summer to Jen? I know you said you and Jen split blocked a little bit, or was that always?
Always.
Okay.
Yeah. But just the age difference and the level, experience. I went from being the older one and kind of like navigating what to do to like Jen already been there, done that. And so she took the lead in that role. So it was awesome to play with her because I learned so much versus like Summer and I, we were learning together. So anything I could absorb from Jen was a bonus.
Yeah. Does anything like stick out that she taught you or that you kind of took from her, the way she approaches tournaments, practices?
I mean, she's a very competitive person, but I always thought it was interesting when she said she was going to work on something in practice. She didn't care what the score was, like she was working on it.
Yeah.
And I think that takes a certain level of maturity because even in practice, you want to win when you play a set to 21. But she would say, okay, I'm working on my high line shot. And she'd do it the entire time. And whether the team knew it or not, but that maturity level to be like, I'm going to get better at this today is something that I took away.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Do you apply that sometimes?
Yeah, Betsi and I will talk before practice on what we're going to work on, just to try to hold each other accountable. When we get into the stuff with scores on it, it's harder for me because I just want to,
hit the open court.
Yeah. It's always good to let your partner know beforehand.
Right.
Just like, why did you just hit the 30th high line that they did?
Yeah.
I was thinking about that today actually at practice because Jose is always. Everyone that plays me knows I start off with a little angle.
Yeah. It's always more angle.
And I'll just keep hitting it more and more just to see how far the defender will go. Like, really? You're going to keep going?
Yeah.
All right. And then I'll be like, all right, fine. I'll take the 30 feet of high line that you give me. But yeah, I do the same thing in practice.
Yeah.
When I start doing that in the game, though, it's pretty dumb.
I feel you. That angle hit is just so fun, though.
It is fun. Yeah. There's still a little there. Well, I might as well take it.
Yeah. But then it opens up that high line.
So tired of it.
Oh, yeah.
That's true.
That thumbs down. That stings.
Lefty doesn't work as well.
And then I'm really curious, when you and Brittney partnered up, were you looking to become a full-time blocker, or was it just that was a good partnership opportunities you knew you could block well?
So when Jen and I broke up, it was pretty much after that we knew we weren't going to the Olympics. So it was mid-season 2016.
Okay.
And so I didn't have necessarily a ton of options. I felt like when I was split blocking that I was a better blocker than a defender. And so I was prepared to take on that role. Yeah.
And how did you and Brittney mesh? Because you have, between Summer, Jen, and Brittney,
I know.
three just personalities could not be on any opposite side of the
I know.
spectrum.
No, Britt and I meshed well. We were actually friends before. And so whenever we traveled with USA, it was nice to have breakfast with her, catch up, or go to dinner. So we had that like off-court relationship. And then when we teamed up, it clicked right away because we won Manhattan.
Yeah.
That was our first tournament together.
Oh, that was the first one?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that worked.
Yeah.
You guys are like the big game hunters. Like you won like Manhattan twice, New York, Hermosa.
Yeah.
You won some big ones together.
Yeah.
You guys showed up.
Yep. It's fun.
What do you think it was that made you guys play so well together?
I think I felt like Brittney brought out the best in me. She allowed me to be my like own personality on the court. I was a lot more vocal and felt more confident. She gave me a lot of confidence when I played with her. And so, yeah, just, I don't know, it worked.
Yeah.
And we had that off court. Always enjoyed talking with her and whatnot.
Yeah, I feel like having an off-court relationship helps so much with you allowing yourself to be like your true self on the court too. It's like not that you and Jen might not have been friends off the court, but like I feel like that intimidation factor, just of playing with Jen Kessie, like silver medalist, like you were probably like a little more careful.
Right.
I don't want to assume anything, but that's just how I am. Like when I'm practicing with like Kame, for example, I'm just like, okay, whatever you say.
Yeah. No, exactly. Yeah. There was some of that for sure with Jen. I mean, we had a ton of fun off the court, but you know, she had been there, done that, so I just listened to whatever she had to say.
Yeah, I definitely am. I'm in that transition period now where I feel like much more myself on the court. I'm just like being super me versus before where I'm like running the Haiyang system, which was I'm so grateful for. In the beginning of my career, that's perfect. That's what you want to do. But yeah, definitely think it's important for every athlete to find their own authentic self on the court. It's just like, I don't know, it just gives you more energy and confidence to kind of take chances and all that, rather than like, I don't know if I should do this because it's not part of what we're doing. It's wrong. It might be wrong, but now I'm just like, there's no wrong. I'm making it up as I go. We're both making it up. So it's just more fun.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah.
More creative
too. Like it helps you like lose well together too, because that's like a huge. You're not going to win every single tournament. So like I feel like that's one of the huge kind of parts of a successful partnership is how well you can take a loss or setback and kind of move on from it.
Yeah,
totally.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's tough to do. And with Britt and Betsi, I felt like we could sit down and have an honest conversation about it, and it never felt like one-sided.
Yeah. That's super valuable.
Yeah.
But with starting out with a Manhattan win, I mean, that's huge.
Yeah.
Was it like, were you like, holy cow, like, I mean, where do we go from here?
Yeah, I mean, because especially coming off the low of not making the Olympics. Like, we knew we weren't going. Jen and I, we had broken up, and playing with Britt, and then winning was just like, oh, what just happened? It was amazing.
I saw the after party at Sharks Cove.
Oh, so good.
It was.
I know the final was crazy. It was 1917.
1917
with
in
Summer
the third.
and Lane.
Yeah, against Summer and Lane.
With an ace to win it, right?
That was
the second one?
Second
oh,
time.
sorry. My bad.
1917. There was no free score.
Oh, right. Okay, got it.
And we had been serving Lane, but Summer kept going on too. And I just remember Brittney got a dig, and I was like, just set the ball. And then Brittney said,
didn't hand set that.
Yeah.
Isn't that nerve-wracking when you have to set the last ball?
Yeah.
You're like, it's great that I don't have to side this out, but like, I have to put this in the further spot. I remember when we were playing for the bronze and world tour final, and Hyde and Doug came like super high and spinning. I'm just like, oh, here we go.
And you had enough time to think about it, right?
I just got to get this ball to the spot, and I can win this match. Like, I'm assuming he's going to put it away.
Right.
It's like,
Yeah.
It's so nerve-wracking waiting
time
for that thing.
Stops too.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember we had a timeout, I think like 15-15, and DJ Ruche like drops "Lose Yourself" by Eminem. I'm like, okay, here we go. Let's
and
do
the
this.
greatest pop-up song ever.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like when it drops? I mean, I can't even imagine winning a Manhattan Beach Open. And that was was that your second win? Third?
That was my third win.
Okay.
Yeah. But that's the most special, I think.
Yeah, what does it compare? Because, I mean, I'm sure Cincinnati had to have been, like, totally unexpected.
Yeah, totally unexpected. Cincinnati was, I mean, the first one is obviously fun. But I didn't have my family and friends there. It was in Cincinnati. And
M's entourage.
yeah, the entourage was not there. They were watching at home. And then, I mean, Manhattan Beach was just like, it was just great.
Yeah.
And my like sister rushed the court. We just got, I know about Shellback and that winner's table. I've seen everybody out there before. I was like, it's my turn.
Yep.
That's so awesome.
Yeah. So it was really fun.
Yeah.
It's too bad they don't put the checks up in showbacks anymore.
Yeah.
The
But then,
checks aren't as good as the other ones.
Right.
The $100,000 ones.
yeah. But it would be cool to like forever live in
If I win
Shellback.
it, I'm going to run up there and be like, oh, well, they don't even give you checks on the AVP
Right.
anymore.
Yeah.
Come on.
It would be funny if, like, they actually did differentiate the size of the checks with, like, how
The
much
money.
It's like, the old school ones would be huge.
Well, no, there's huge ones like Phil and Todd, Carrie Misty.
Right.
I think Rosie has a huge 100,000 one. And then when it was the Cuervo tour, Hayden and Scott got one. And
Yeah.
It's like this big.
I think Crop
And it
and
was
Whitney
like
has
20
one.
grand,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
really
kind of
funny.
sad. But it is cool to party at Shellbacks after.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I partied after 2 losses.
There you go.
That's
It's the other way.
Either way,
I've
the
been
beer
there
tastes good. Yeah.
That's why bars are great in any economy. People are either celebrating to go there or
Right.
they're drinking the loss.
That's true.
You're celebrating the
Good
Shellbacks or you're drinking off the loss.
point. Yep.
That was
Yeah.
the first place I went to when I didn't qualify for Manhattan this past summer. Straight to Shellbacks.
Yeah.
Can we get a history of M's entourage? I know we
Yeah.
kind of like briefly covered it when we were in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Like, how did this start? Because it's now like a pretty...
It's like a thing.
yeah, it's a thing.
So because living in Torrance, I have a lot of family friends, and they used to come to CBVAs, and then they'd be there at I don't know how they show up on a Thursday to watch me qualify, or Friday morning, but they were there. And I think we were just trying to go back, like 2014, they were at Huntington, and in between games, they were at the bar, and they're like, we need to make ourselves... like, we need to make this official, we need a name. And so the next thing I knew, I got an email of all these different names that they wanted to call themselves, and then came up with M's Entourage, and my sister was the leader of it, and got t-shirts made, and she works for a marketing company, so she got the logo made, and they were all about it.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So how many, do you have like a number of how many are in M's entourage?
It's hard to say because, like, I have family on the East Coast that will show up to New York.
Yeah.
I mean, when we order shirts, it's like around 50.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of them will be at, like, for sure, Huntington, Hermosa, Manhattan.
Yep.
And then,
The bright blue.
yep, that teal shirt.
You'll see them.
Yep. And then now I, like, advertise the sponsors. Like, hey, you could put your logo on these shirts.
That's a great
Oh, that's
idea.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the sponsors pay for the shirts, which is great. And so my family and friends don't have to pay for it.
That's perfect.
Yeah. And then they have now 45 people walking around Manhattan Beach with their stuff on. So you should do that for your shirts.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
We should throw SANDCAST on
Who
the
wants
logo.
Yeah.
on
There you
On your
go.
shirts.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Marketing.
Sponsor.
M's entourage.
Yep. Love
I like
it.
that.
Have
They're
they-
a lot nicer than Rosie's Raiders.
Yes.
By the way.
Yeah. Yeah. I've told them only nice things.
Rosie refuses to tell him anything. He's like,
Right.
they do whatever they want. I don't know. Rosie, damn it, your friends.
Yeah.
They're off making trouble again. So yeah, I don't know.
Remember Chase Frischman when him and Brunston were playing together? So they had like the
Oh, yeah,
whole
they had-
Laguna contingent there.
They were-
I forget what Frishy's friends.
Frishy's friends,
Or
yeah.
the Ledge Legion or whatever they call
Their first
themselves.
year, we played them in Manhattan, And they were heckling me and hiding the whole time. Even we were winning, so it wasn't.
They kept going.
I was like, damn, these kids got some like good friends out here.
Yeah.
They drove. I'm pretty sure that like they were worth about 10 points per set against Ratledge and Loomis in the Huntington qualifier when they first made it. Ty was like throwing balls into the crowd at him, like yelling at him.
Oh, that's the
Yikes.
best.
And I mean, they were eating it up.
I love it.
So,
Yeah.
And it works, man. If you have a bunch of, like a group of people cheering against you, whether it's positively or negatively, negatively tends to work even more.
Right.
Not that you want that.
yeah.
Right.
But, I mean, that's a serious advantage to have a group of people. Like, I remember so many matches where I'm playing and I just notice that the fans are cheering for the other team more than us. And it just kind of like, just a little bit. It just bothers me. And then I notice myself like getting a kill and then looking at everyone like, why are you cheering now? I'm like, nah, damn it! Now I'm getting distracted with the fans.
Right. Yeah.
Like they're getting to me.
Yeah. M's Entourage likes to claim, a couple points every match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely.
Even if it's 1 point a tournament, you'll take it in our sport.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Sometimes
And
that's all you
probably
need.
it makes tournaments super fun, I would bet. Just
Super
like,
fun.
Now you get like a huge group of people to hang out with, and it's probably like a great conversation piece for people, for like fans and stuff.
Yep. And random people asking for shirts and they want to know. But it's nice too because they know that like I'll chat with them real quick and then they go off and I go off. So it's not like I have to entertain them.
Yeah. Now,
Also,
where would one get an M's Entourage t-shirt?
From me. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Because part of me, I like it that everybody that wears it is like a family or friend.
Right.
But then I want to open it up to everyone. So I haven't really like put it online yet, but I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to be a real fan of M if you're gonna wear these shirts.
Yep.
You can't be cheering against the other team. You can't be neutral.
Yeah.
You got to be on the Entourage.
Yeah. No switching sides.
I like it, and I love it because I feel like our sport lacks a little bit of the fan base for specific teams.
Right. Well, it's hard because people switch.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's true. But it would be beneficial to our sport to have more of that, where people are like showing up to a tournament and cheering for their favorite team,
Right, and they follow them
rather
the whole
than just like,
tournament.
I'm gonna go observe volleyball today.
Right.
That's doesn't exactly sell as well,
What
or
if
like get
volleyball-
people hyped up and like bring the energy up.
What if volleyball implemented like, how the NBA and MLB have like trade deadlines?
Yeah.
I feel like a deadline for when you could switch partners.
I mean, it's not the worst idea.
There's a lot of ideas.
But I
What
feel like
about-
sometimes that naturally happens. It's so hard. I don't know. Because, with the Olympics, all these teams are pretty much set.
Yeah.
But-
We also have 2 people on a team. So if one person's injured or something or not playing well,
True.
then you're just screwed.
Yeah, we'd have to
Not exactly
think this through a little bit more.
Yeah.
But
What if you could have a bench player? There's 3 people on a team.
Yeah, you could just have like your reserve.
Yeah.
Like in snow volleyball,
it'd
you
be
got 4
great. Get paid
bench
to
player.
cruise on the bench in our sport. That would be cool.
Yeah.
A lot of people throw around like that we should do like playing for owners kind of thing, or even for states. I've heard that one.
I think that would be so cool.
Where you have an owner, you're like, okay, you're going to be the owner of Team Oregon, but you're going to have to, whatever, you have a draft or a bidding.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to pay more for the top athletes
right.
kind of thing, or something like that.
That'd be cool.
So then you're representing a state. So everyone from that state's like, yes, that's my team, no matter who's playing on it.
Right.
I'd be pretty bummed if I wasn't on Hawaii, though.
Yeah.
If I'm, like, playing for Oregon against Hawaii.
Yeah.
And all of Hawaii, I'm like, this sucks. Like,
I think it'd be
no
so
offense,
interesting.
Oregon, but...
Right.
If, like,
That's your hometown.
if the pro tour took on the college model, I think that would be an interesting look at beach volleyball.
With having a whole squad and 5 teams
yeah, so, like
score.
if Hawaii drafted 5 teams and then they would travel to play South Bay,
Right.
For on March 20th, then you would know court 1 is Tryon Trevor versus Phil and Nick, and then you would know you have a guaranteed matchup.
Players are on salaries, and then the teams are collecting sponsorships
Yeah,
for what the athletes are wearing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the owner's incentive, is how to make money off of his team.
Right.
Through sponsorships and whatnot. It'd be cool.
Yeah,
I think, you could do a test event,
Yeah,
just do a one-off event without the owners and all that stuff.
Yeah,
you just
can
create
have,
teams,
players represent.
see if it works.
Remember we did that USA versus Brazil
That was awesome.
thing? That was pretty cool.
bet.
Down in Rio before the Rio Olympics.
Brazil flew us out,
Yeah.
like the top 5 U.S. teams or something.
4 or 5.
And I just saw a picture recently of
Yeah.
all the girls jumping, and I was like standing next to them. I was like, I just did like
Standard
the girliest
jumping
jump with standing jumping pic with all the girls. It was kind of funny. But yeah, we all got flown down to Brazil, first class, and we just played in the tournament where it was all the U.S. versus Brazil, and
We had different matchups.
yeah, it was. What
And
was the format?
scoring.
I know I made the finals, but like we were all so out of shape because it was our off season
And it was
and Brazil
their-
was in
yeah.
season, so we all got smoked. But me and Haiyang got smoked a little less, so we were in the finals, and you get paid for being in the finals. Like
Right.
it's based on your ranking for your country, not for how many matches you won or
Right.
whatever. So that was pretty great.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah.
That's such a cool idea. Mm-hmm. I would love for that to happen again. If we bring Brazil over.
Yeah,
and
that'd
then
be
next
really
year
cool.
just like rotating.
Yep.
Kind of like golf does like the Ryder Cup.
Totally.
Yeah.
I
Kinda
feel like
sweet.
why not USA Volleyball put on one event a year, 2 events a year, like specialty events? I think that'd be rad.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
And collaborate with AVP. USA
Yeah.
Volleyball AVP collaboration event.
Well, that's the hard part, is the collaboration.
It is hard. Collaboration in our sport is very difficult.
Yeah.
There's not enough pie to go around, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
speaking
with,
of that,
but with you guys going for the Olympics again,
Mm-hmm.
this is Betsi's kind of first run at it. So like you and Betsy's still relatively new partnership. How has that chemistry developed? Obviously pretty quickly in the first year.
Yeah, I think it's developed quick. And we didn't have, at the very beginning of us playing together, we didn't have great finishes. Like, we never really had that honeymoon phase. So we've worked through it and trusted each other and our goals and, like, motivations and all that. And so I think the LMU thing helps. You know, we both have went to LMU, and she's a great person on and off the court, so super easy to get along with, and communicates well. And so, yeah, it's been going good.
How was the partnership formed in the first place? Because you and Brittney had such a great run.
Right.
I didn't know if it was like Brittney picking up someone else or you going
Right.
with Betsy.
So Britt and I had played in Fort Lauderdale, and then she broke up with me. We were not having great international finishes.
Yeah.
And it was kind of that time when you either were going to lock it in or you were going to decide to break up. Mm-hmm. So timing was crazy. Like, she broke up with me. I missed out on going to China, but then I went to Maria Salgado needed a partner for her Brazilian tour. So then I went to Brazil for a month.
Oh, that's awesome.
And in that time, there was a lot of shakeups. And so I was calling and had been chatting with different players. And so Betsi and I, like, agreed to play with one another without even practicing together.
Oh, nice.
So there's that level of respect. Like, we both knew how well each other played and what where we wanted to go and what we wanted to do.
Yeah.
and you mentioned that you weren't having international success.
Right.
Like, let's talk about that difference of
Yeah.
it's crazy how some teams are like dominating AVP, but
Right.
like can't really translate it to the world tour.
Yeah.
Like what are those differences?
I don't know. If you can
Still
tell
trying to
me,
figure it out.
I mean, it's hard because it was like literally running our head against the wall. Like, we do so well. We beat the top American teams, but they'd still be doing much better on the world stage than us.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like, I feel like I'm a good traveler, and Brittney was too. I didn't see that as a problem.
Yeah.
It's a different ball, but we always train with Mikasa.
Mm-hmm.
I think that the level of scouting is way more on the world tour, and so tendencies really show up.
Right.
And so maybe Britt and I were carrying those too much.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. If you can figure it out.
I don't know either. That's why I try to steal
Yeah.
stuff, intel from people on the show. So, no,
longer
it's certainly
tournament,
different
too.
though. Like when you play against other international teams, like you really have to be on top of your scouting reports and understanding that they're making adjustments based off what they saw. Usually, like the last match.
Yeah, they
a
have.
lot of times it's the last match. So I always have that in my mind. Like, I just whatever. If it's that cut hit
Right.
that I always do, and it's no secret. That's why I'm saying it. Oh, please, people, keep playing it. Then you'll like see them playing to the tendencies of your last
Right.
match, and you have to be quick to realize that.
Yeah.
Before you give up like 2 or 3, you know.
Yeah.
It's like they stepped in it. Okay. Now they stepped even further, and you hit a high line. Okay, I know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then it's like you keep going away from it until they make an adjustment back, and then it becomes a cat and mouse. Whereas I feel like AVP is just like, we just go and like play street ball.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how it feels.
And I feel like on the world stage, way more consistent. If you're down like 4 points on the world, it's real hard to get back. Where AVP, you can, there's more mistakes made.
Yeah.
I think.
Why do you think that is?
Well, the lower level teams, you're playing better teams
Right.
Yeah.
all the time on the world tour.
There's no
So,
easy matches.
yeah, I think that's pretty much the obvious issue. But I mean, the ball is different. Like everyone loves playing with the Wilson for a reason because
Right.
you have more control, and it's a little heavier, so it's easier. I think it's easier to hit hard and
That
be able
top
to
spin, yeah.
snap
put top
on it.
spin
Yeah.
on it. Exactly. So it's a combination of things, I think. And you're just more comfortable. You're at home. It's fun.
Yeah.
You're like you have fans cheering for you. Whereas when we're overseas, pretty much
from
no
ghost
one's.
town.
There's like that one fan that'll show up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm American. Woo.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, sweet, thanks, man.
Yeah.
But other than that, like usually we don't have anyone cheering for us.
Yeah.
It's different.
It's very different.
The odds are stacked against you, especially with your 12-hour jet lag.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is.
True.
I'm about to have that going to Qatar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sydney.
And it's going to be like 100 degrees. I
Yeah.
heard we're going to play during the day.
A little different than here lately.
A little different, yeah.
Gosh.
Exactly.
Freezing.
We're spoiled on AVP. Now we just need
Yeah.
that to be a full-time tour.
Yeah. Yeah. Hear ya.
Was it a bit of a breakthrough then when you and Betsi won in Haiyang?
Yeah. Yes. That was my first gold medal on the world tour.
Hey.
And
You did win some Norsekas.
yes, I won some Norsekas, and Summer and I won World University Games.
Yeah.
But that felt good. You know, just being out there and winning and going from start to finish the entire tournament and playing well.
Yeah. Was it like, were you playing any different than any other international tournaments where you said that, like, for whatever reason it didn't translate over? Or was it just you and Betsi were just on a roll?
We were on a roll, and I felt like we were playing well when we needed to play well, and you know, squeaking by. So many matches are won and lost by 2 points, and we were the ones winning by 2 points.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it was helpful when you're on that side of things.
Yeah, I can't point to one thing. We were in China, and I feel like Betsi and I really embraced China well. Like, we're good at packing food. We like to get our Chinese foot massages, and so I think we enjoyed ourselves a lot more than the other teams. Which
That's huge.
Yeah.
Because usually by the time you get to the end of a China trip, you're like
get me out
burnt
of it.
out
Yeah.
or like drained. Like I remember talking to Trevor at the end of our last one. He's like, "Dude, I gotta get out of here." I'm
Yeah.
like dying. I'm like, I'm actually good. Like I think
Yeah.
I've done well. And then by like the day we're leaving, I'm like, okay, now I need to leave.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I made it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's important to like just be enjoying yourself, because if you're like looking forward to leaving and like dreading breakfast and dinner rather than
Right.
like I get to go enjoy breakfast, you know, that's the
Right.
big thing on the road for us is like to go enjoy a meal.
Right.
And
Right.
it's hard in China, but if you're prepared and you know what's going to happen and you
Right.
bring some stuff, it actually helps a lot.
Yeah.
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 I have yet to experience that. So we'll see you in Cambodia in
Good luck.
about a month. So
Yeah.
do some planning for that one.
Yeah, exactly. Bring some REI meals maybe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the way to go.
That's the way.
Yeah, you can order them on Amazon.
This is
too.
why I love SANDCAST, because I just get to pick everyone's brains
Yeah.
and learn from like all
All
of
right,
you guys
I'll
first.
teach you something. Don't get the REI meals that steam up, like when you mix the chemicals, and don't eat it on the plane, because it looks
REI
like a
is
giant
what, like-
bomb.
You tried to do that on a
I
plane?
didn't know it steamed up, so I'm like
You
sitting
did the
there.
one where you didn't have to add hot water. You just added water and it steams
You
up.
add water and then you
Oh
throw
my
the,
God, people must-
the pouch in.
yeah.
I had never done it before, but I'm like, yep, I'm about to eat a good meal. And
were
and then
losing
like
it.
have it like on the table in front of me, and I'm in like
kinda
exit
loud,
row. I'm in
too.
exit row, like
Yeah.
everyone's around me by the bathrooms, And it's like, it starts like whistling and like shooting like a 4 foot high
Those things,
steam vent.
I would have freaked
I'm
out.
like, oh, this is not good.
Did someone come over and talk to you?
Smoke and shit.
I would have loved
No, I ran into the bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
I ran into the bathroom and just let it go in there. I was like, this, like I could easily get like arrested right now or something.
That's so funny.
Yeah, I was like running across the plane with this steaming bag. Like,
It's hot too.
yeah, and it's hot. Yeah, anyway, don't do that.
So REIs, but don't bring them on the plane. Don't eat them on the plane.
Right, or
Well,
get the
there's
ones
certain
you
ones-
just add hot water instead
Yeah.
of this like magic pack.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. I know we've kept you here for a while, so is there anything else that you want to bring up or chat about while you're on SANDCAST?
Well, we need to do the math
true,
problem.
the
Math Monday question.
Yeah,
Math
let's
Monday.
give it
Math
to
Monday.
us.
Okay, so we know I'm a math tutor. And so every Monday I post a Math Monday question on my Instagram story. And anybody can respond within 24 hours. And if you get it right, or if I help you and you get it right, because I will help, you get an autograph card from me. So I would like to read my question to everyone.
Okay.
And feel free
Drum
to try
roll.
to answer.
Oh gosh, math. I'm around for a
Okay.
reason.
In a certain college, 40% of the senior class students are taking physics, 30% are taking calculus, and 10% are taking both. If 40 students are enrolled in the senior class, how many students are taking neither physics nor calculus? So 40% are taking physics, 30% are taking calculus, and 10% are taking both.
How many students?
There's a total of 40.
Sure.
And if, well, or if you could just tell me how much percent no one's taking
All right.
calculus nor.
I'm going to try to get a signed card.
Yes. So
I'm the worst.
to answer, you got to post on your Instagram story of you working out the problem and tag SANDCAST
Yep.
and tag MDay6 and then send me your answer
On DM.
on DM. Slide into the DMs.
Direct message people.
Direct message me just your answer, but we want to see the work on your story.
I like it.
Yeah.
Like a proper teacher.
Yep.
I want to see the work. Show your
yeah.
work. Yeah.
No Google.
I remember that. You just brought me back to my
Yeah, I
high
feel like
school
it's gotta
days.
be tough. Have like you had to adopt change your tutoring methods based on technology now? 'Cause
Oh,
students
yeah.
can just look up anything in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I might
Totally.
be out of a job soon. But
Yeah.
it's interesting. Almost all the textbooks are online. Plus, they do this Common Core math, which is different than how we learned math.
I've heard the Common Core is less than popular.
Yeah, it's less than popular, but we handle it. Yeah, but online. I mean, students are doing their homework and sending it in via online. So it's weird with no paper and pencil.
I feel like it's my parents are both teachers, and it's basically retiring teachers. They're just I never really stayed up to date with this technology, so I
Right.
guess I'll just retire.
It's tough.
Yeah, if you
Yeah.
don't know how to if you're not a whiz on an iPad, because
Right.
that's what classes are, right? In high
Right.
school now, it's all iPads.
Yep.
Then you can't really be a teacher when your kids know more about the
The app or whatever.
the
Yeah.
stuff than you do.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Do your kids know that you're one of the best beach volleyball players in the country, or do you kind of keep that? Is there a separation there?
So they know I play volleyball because I tell them and I'm gone sometimes.
Yeah.
But it's always funny when I get back from a trip or they actually see me play or they'll come back and they'll be like, "Oh, I saw you had an article in the Daily Breeze."
Oh, you're
Or,
actually really good.
"I saw you on TV. I didn't know." And so
I thought you just played.
yeah, they don't really understand
Yeah.
the extent of it, but it's fun.
Because I taught a few journalism classes
Mm-hmm.
the past couple of years, and for the most part, the students didn't they didn't bother looking me up. But one of the students looked me up just to see, and he was just like, "Wow, you have a lot of Google results," and he was like, "Why are there so many pictures of you playing volleyball?" And
Yeah.
so now the last couple of months, every time I came in to teach him, he always asked about SANDCAST. It's like, "How's SANDCAST?"
Oh, that's
go.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was awesome.
I was helping Gabby. She was picking up some furniture to refurbish, and the husband came out to pick it up, and he's like, "Are you Bourne?"
Yeah.
From the podcast?
Yeah, that's awesome.
What? From the podcast?
It's so fun to
That's
get
cool.
like recognized out of your circle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even funnier that it's not.
One of my neighbors
not
too.
Volleyball.
I know, it wasn't like, oh,
That
the
is
volleyball
funny.
player. It was,
Yeah.
you're the podcast host.
That's awesome. Good
Yeah,
for you
it's
guys.
great. It's probably
Getting
listening. Hey, neighbor. Yeah.
So we have our giveaway set
Yep.
up. Now is there?
Gave us a nice quote here, by the way.
Yeah.
I actually really love this.
Yeah, the harder I work, the luckier I get.
Is that? Do you know who that is attributed to? On the wide world of the internet, you could
SANDCAST.
guess Mark Twain or Abraham Lincoln are always pretty good
Yeah,
guesses.
or I think it might have been Jefferson.
Okay.
But yeah, somebody really smart.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like
Emily
that.
Day. We'll
Yeah.
give you the attribute today.
Okay. I don't deserve it, but thanks.
Now the final question for all of our guests is if you could ask, or if you could give one piece of advice to any up and coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be?
Gosh.
It's going to be
That's
good
hard.
coming from the teacher.
She's
got so many.
No, I think it's important for an up-and-coming volleyball player to play in whatever they can. To be able to play in a CBVA, in P1440, in an AVP tournament, to go out and try out for a USA team, like, you just need time in the sand. And so I would say, yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice, is just go and play. Whether, it doesn't matter if you don't have a coach there that practice, if you just have 4 girls together, go out there, have some drills, and then play.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually thinking about something along those lines today. There's like a kid that's coming in after practice training. I was like, wow, how lucky is he to get these quality reps as a kid.
Right.
But then I'm also like, if I never because I never had coaching. I never got coached on the beach until I was pro. But if I never had all those quality reps of just going out and playing
Right.
and competing and just
Right.
figuring it out, I think I would be worse off than if I was coached that whole time.
Yeah.
Did I say that right? Yeah. But
Yeah.
I think they're both important, you know?
Yep.
Get your quality reps, go get if you're lucky enough to be able to hire a coach or be coached in some way, get those reps, learn as much as you can, practice technique, but also just go compete and have fun with it and like forget about that stuff, because you have to learn to compete on your own as well.
Right.
And you're never going to learn that part of it just through technique
Right,
and like
right.
listening.
And even if you can't like play in a tournament, you can just like bet your friend's lunch or something
Yeah.
like that.
That's one of my favorite things to do. 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, it's 18, 17. You're like a little nervous.
Yeah,
you know?
you're like, I want
don't
that,
wanna buy
brother.
Ben bought
Yeah.
lunch.
That's what you want.
Yeah.
That's what you want, people. Like a lot of people run away from that nervous feeling.
Right,
Like,
right.
Oh, I don't,
It's uncomfortable.
I don't want that. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. A lot of us pros, we all do this.
Yeah.
We'll go to practice and put something on it. Winner buys lunch, whoever wins the last match. And it just challenges you every day a little
Right.
bit more, because if you're playing out there, you're probably very competitive, like all of us, and it's going to bother you.
Yeah.
It's going to be uncomfortable, but that's what you want. That's what you're chasing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there we have it. Thanks for coming
Cool,
on. Congratulations again on the Hall of Fame.
Thank
That's
you.
So cool.
Thanks.
And good
Thanks
luck.
for having me. It's been
Congrats,
fun.
MJ. Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
on the show.
Yeah.
Good luck to you and Betsy this season.
Thank you. Thanks. Come cheer for us. Join the entourage.
Shoots. Get your shirt, people.